Planet of the Apes, issue number 2. That's right, folks, we're back at it with one of my favorite franchises, giving us a nice little outing before a new movie comes out in May of 2024. It's pretty exciting. I do like that we had the merger with Fox and Disney has taken the time to be like, actually, there is something within the Apes we could talk about. Because there's other properties they have that they've just completely ignored, but Apes being on the same level now as like an alien or a predator, it's very exciting and it makes me smile. I just like seeing that kind of stuff. First issue of this book, it hit really specifically for the times we live in. A post-pandemic era about animal rights, about what the government's going to do and how they're going to react. That is a really good idea to explore with like the mythology built in the rise, dawn, and war era of apes. So exploring that world a little bit more, there's something to say in there. And this issue follows up in an incredibly unique way. It plays with new themes that we're expressing, and I love to see that. So there is a lot of time jumping in this book. We open up in 2013 in Western Malaysia. It's been a little bit of a year and a half since the outbreak of the simian flu. We're following a couple kids who are just skateboarding and riding bikes. They're headed down the street. They're abandoned and destroyed. They are just like finding like a trolley cart, and they're bringing like a bunch of books to this location, and there's like these stacks of fruit just sitting everywhere. And the kids are like, are they going to show? Are they going to show up? They always show up, but why aren't they here yet? They're just kind of getting anxious and nervous. But anyways, they brought gifts for these certain things. And who do they bring gifts for? Well, behind them, peering through the bushes, is an orangutan. And this kid's like, look, we got you stuff. And the kid holds up a bunch of books, and it's a family of orangutan. And the kid's like, I could read it to you. And they start hanging out with this orangutan family. And that's really cool. That's really cool because it's like Borneo, an orangutan rehabilitation center. It's like there's a huge theme of this book about rehabilitation centers and like what they actually do for animals and creatures. And you just see like this one's kind of destroyed, and these kids are kind of like keeping these animals friendly. We are slowly seeing the evolution of the simian virus take hold, you know? They're getting smarter and more intelligent. We cut back to 2016 where we are with our main character for the book, I guess, Tobon. I don't know how you pronounce her name, but she is headed to an international research center in Ghana. And she's taken like the chimps that she had on the plane with her. They're walking through this place. We cut to a man named Dr. Sebeni, and he is on the phone with like the Secretary General, I'm guessing of America, because he seems like he's an American doctor. And she's like, look, I don't know how else to put it, but like, this isn't a request. Like, you have to give us your shit. This is a direct order from the United Nations, dude. Like, you are done. Your thing is done. We need every single example and every single sample you have in your facility because the world's falling apart. And he's like, I can't. You cannot take any of these apes or any of our research. It's just the most important place left in the world. Get your specimens from Switzerland. And she's like, oh, you haven't heard? Switzerland was attacked the other day. Like, there was like the Exterdicus viri, which just like the militia terrorists came in and attacked. We saw that at the end of the last book. And essentially, we lost all of Switzerland because of that. There was a huge fight. Everything went down. The entire nation has gone silent. They're done for. We don't even know what's happening in England. The United Kingdom's pretty much going down. We're losing Europe, folks. We're on the verge of losing Europe. The world is falling apart very quickly in the span of just a few years. And it's terrifying. And we're scared of it. But you have to understand, like, you might be the last place in the entire world where things are operating fine. We have nothing left for, like, our research facilities. All we got is what's going on in Ghana. But he's like, what about Malaysia? Come on, there's like thousands of specimens you can use in Malaysia. They're just living there. It's like, yeah, but we can't get to them. You know, there was like some unpleasantries of China, and it's been deserted. They've all been dead. But we see that the orangutan living in Malaysia are actually working with the humans that are helping them there. So I really like the way it's like setting up the different factions. I know it's like a weird thing to say for this book, but it's just giving you like, okay, the United Nations is doing their own thing. We have a research facility in Ghana that is working with chimpanzees. In Malaysia, there was a rehabilitation center that was working with the orangutans. And then we know Switzerland was doing its own thing. That is destroyed. We're setting up where everything is in the location for all these different things, and it's very cool. She's not happy with this. The Secretary General's like, you can't do this, okay? We have to have all your specimens ready to transport to the United States, or it's done. We're done as a species. You ruined us all. And he hangs up like, damn it. Miss Tobin, can I have a word with you? Like, I need to tell you what's going on, where things are headed. Switzerland's done. We lost it. Everything's bad. This is the last place in the world with a sizable population of great apes, like, where we can still research and help them grow and all that kind of stuff. And the doctor is just kind of like, we cannot afford to lose any of this. Look, our population and our numbers are dwindling. We're going down extremely hard and fast. And I have this hunch and this theory that in order for our species to survive, we need the help of the apes. And that's what he wants to do. So we see like the facility that he is running. There are apes tending to the gardens and building a bunch of stuff. And essentially, it's very interesting that he's teaching these apes to work for humans so they can help save the humans. And Tobin is like, that sounds a lot like slavery. He's like, it's not about slavery. It's not slavery. It's just survival. They hold the key to our survival, and we have to let them want to help us. You're like, oh, you're dealing with a lot of stuff there, but you still can't, get away from the slavery allegation. Because it is right there. If you stop to think about it, where it's like, these apes are advancing in intellect, and now we are having them work for us for our benefit, it is like, oh, yeah, that is kind of slavery. They still have, like their neck braces that are keeping them in line. Doctor, it sounds to me like you're wanting something else. So aside from just tending to gardens and doing research, they're training the apes to fight, and we get like a nice panel where we see a bunch of these chimpanzees wielding staffs, just getting ready to defend themselves. He's like, make no mistake, Miss Tobin, like, they're not the threat. The apes are not the threat to the humanity. It's the politicians, man. They're the ones that are the threat, man. And I absolutely believe that. Like, that is exactly the thing that this book and the apes is about. Like, humanity's downfall is itself. They are just taking up the reins of what was left. And that's what this is doing. We are training a militia that's eventually going to succeed us. And I think that is such a great thing to portray in the Planet of the Apes universe, because it's such a unique idea that we don't explore that much in these stuff. And it's so exciting to see that. So they're learning to build, they're learning to fight. The apes are eventually going to take over. We have to think about tomorrow, not just today. I think it's beautiful, and just seeing Dr. Simbeni like, yeah, this is gonna happen. Our survival depends on them willing to help us, and if they help us, then we might actually make it. And I think that's a really cool thing to explore. But that is also not where the book ends, because it gives us a little bit of like a history lesson on one of like the lead apes that's going to be presented in this book. One of our rogue heroes, the smartest gorilla in the world. And this is the story of a circus gorilla named Pug. He worked at like a French circus somewhere, Arthur and Jacobs. It's like cool. Le gorilla de plus intelligent du monde. I don't know. It's like, yeah, that's just the smartest gorilla in the world, isn't it? But people liked this gorilla. And then the world fell apart and people didn't like gorillas. So there was a huge mob that came to attack the circus. And I just love, you just see they're coming for this gorilla. They hate him. We see it through the eyes of like an elephant and a tiger watching this gorilla get attacked, and it just lashes out and attacks the humans. And I'm like, yes, this is exactly what I want. Give me some of this energy. It's so cool here. I love it. And it just attacks these humans. And we learned that Pug the gorilla is one of like the lead apes in the fight in Switzerland. He was the gorilla using the stop sign axe. That is who he was. He's like, yeah, because I was smart, I was able to take the reins. And there's kind of like a theme, like the myth of Pug grew. Some people think he could speak. Some people think he was this unbelievable force of nature ready to destroy everything. But what really happened was he was just able to show the other apes that there was destructive forces at work trying to take them down, and he was saving his people. So we see like a bunch of like the terrorists trying to kill a bunch of harmless apes, and they come in and just wreck shop, and you're like, yes, that's what I want. That's what I want. I love it so much. It is so cool to see that. It's just an ape with a stop sign axe, and he was just like a circus animal that they tried to kill, and now he's killing them. I love it. I'm here for this so much. I love every second of this stuff. This is such a good book. The politics are in black and white. Like, it's so on the nose whose side we're on. It's so on the nose who the bad guy is. And that's what this is. We shouldn't be having like this deep philosophical discussion about what it means for sentience or like power or corruption. Because if you think about it too much, it's like, no, if the humans do this, it is slavery towards the apes, and they are an intelligent species. We are controlling them in a way. We have things in the past. It's destructive and gross, and the fact that this book is exploring those themes is really exciting. It's making for some really original content, and I appreciate that so much for a Planet of the Apes book. Cool ideas. So, Planet of the Apes, issue number 2. I am going to give an 8 out of 10. Thank you all for watching this review. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. As always, you can check me out on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. And as always, I will catch you in the next one. Have fun. Stay safe. Good luck.